right, and we're live. All right, try to get that echo out. Anyway, there she comes. There's the sunshine of the show.
Well, I realized that I thought I had a bottle opener here, and I realized I did not. So I went to grab a bottle opener.
I have canned beer, and I know we were supposed to do this. This is our yearly. We've done this with Guinness and shepherd's pie. However, the store was out of Guinness yesterday. My wife said she went shopping. I was driving back from Nashville yesterday in the car. I was in the car all day, coming back from that conference in Nashville that I went out to with Craig, and I was going to be home by about 8:30. But about 7:45, 8 o'clock, I got into in Texas here. I got into a town that they do construction on Sunday nights. And I went through 30 miles of 2 miles an hour behind a load of trucks in one lane. Yeah. Anyway, so tonight I'm going to do a different beer. I am going to do dark beer. This is a dark beer that my wife had from a local brewery called Armor Brewery. This is a stout with a smoked porter. All right. But I also have some of the blood orange, which I love, from that same brewery, which I love this one here. And I've got a shepherd's pie that my wife bought from the store. This lovely shepherd's pie brought to you by Swanson. No, it's not Swanson. I don't know what food it is. But anyway, remember that Home Alone thing where he says, and thank you, Lord, for this wonderful thing that we got on sale at $2.99 or whether the coupon.
I love it.
Anyway.
So, I want to get a picture of you. You look down right as a click. So. Fun. All right. So I did get Guinness. There was a Guinness extra stout. I decided not to go with that one because it did say it was very bitter. And I went, I don't know if I want that. So I do have my Guinness, but then of course I also have healing whiskey because Irish and Portland roots. And I did make shepherd's pie.
Did you make it at home this time?
I did. Actually, I made a delicious shepherd's pie. And I took a couple of beautiful pictures. I was like, wow. So I had a friend that had said, oh, I'll make shepherd's pie. I make the best shepherd's pie. Well, busy trying to get out, for, spring break. So it's like, oh, was I supposed to help you with that? I'm like, yeah, but here's the picture of the shepherd's pie. And then the top.
Aha.
So just beautiful because I was going to do it in a 9 by whatever it was, and I realized it was just going to be so skinny, and I said no, I need some height to it. So it was like the perfect amount to make it look like that, and then of course I put it into this little container to bring it here, and I was going to serve it here, and I said no, I need to be able to show it off. So I put it there, and garlic toast, and the of course the Guinness. And I was waiting for it to make a function. And then I have the little glass because I thought that would be pretty. So look at this color. I know I could do the 4 ounces, but I'm not going to be fine because I'm going to do like 6 ounces. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous?
Cool.
That's just gorgeous. So I'm going to see if I can get a good picture with the Guinness here. And the pie with the beer and the whiskey. All the things. To make it look pretty. Okay, so what brand of shepherd's pie did you get?
Oh, gosh. I don't even know that because the box is out in the kitchen.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. I'm waiting for my daughter to finish this bath because I can't hear because the water's running in the wall behind me. Oh, my life just can't get any easier today. I'm telling you.
You've had a tough day.
I've had a very tough day. And I'm playing up and down with the volume here. All right. And how long could this thing take? It's literally loud as hell in my ear. I don't know if you can hear it.
It's not.
So, anyway. she's running a bath to give the baby a bath, and it's just the water's right on this wall behind me. So, needless to say, something else to frustrate me today.
Just to add to the just this is just gonna get better for me.
Yeah.
So,
one of these days, my life will get better.
pretty well.
Not
So-
anytime soon, but yeah, one of these days.
So the shepherd's pie. I used ground beef, I used ground lamb. I added onions, yellow
Okay.
onions. In there. I did my seasonings of rosemary, thyme. I actually did an Italian seasoning versus all the seasonings separate, but it was rosemary forward, which I wanted. I also added, I thought I had grabbed, because I knew I had a bag of peas at home. I thought I was grabbing the bag that had peas, carrots, and corn. Well, it also had green beans. Well, I said, I'm throwing them in there. I'm not going to separate the green beans. So I added all of those in there. I added tomato paste to it and beef broth. It was the Swans, no Pacific. So it was a Pacific brand. Cooked all of that. And then on the mashed potatoes, I added of course, I didn't do half and half. I actually did milk and butter. I mean, I did like a gallon butter, salted already. And then I added the shaved Parmesan in there into the potato. And I was going to add more on top, but I opted not to because I didn't want it to burn just in case. And I did leave it in there, because I wanted that golden brown. And the flavors are absolutely delicious. I think this is a better shepherd's pie than the one I did. So we'll see how I remember if I like it with Guinness. I think the answer is yes. But the difference that having Parmesan cheese in the potatoes, I don't recall if I did that last time, but I did this time, and I'm really glad I did.
I mean, I love shepherd's pie, and I wish I could learn to make it.
It is actually pretty easy to make. It does take time. It takes about prep time close to an hour, and then cook time another 40 minutes or so, depending on how big, if you're doing 1 pound or 2 pounds. I did 1 pound of ground beef before ground lamb. And then, of course, because everything is cooked, it's really just to bind everything and to brown the potatoes because everything is already cooked. If it's not already cooked, it's not going to finish cooking in the oven, y'all.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So the dark stout that I have goes very well with it. Mm. Yeah. It is a good meal to the end of a tough day.
Mm-hmm. This is comfort food.
And I think did I tell last year the first time I ever had shepherd's pie?
I will say with the tealing, the spices of the shepherd's pie come right out. So the tealing really pulls out those spices. So when did you try shepherd's pie for the first time?
I want to say I was like 20 or 21 years old. And they had it on a lunch truck that came into our one of the car dealerships I worked with when I was younger. It goes better with the blood orange. I'm just saying.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I was young and I remember it and going, what shepherd's pie? All right. And they told me the layers were into it. I'm like, okay, let me try that.
It is fairly easy to make. It just takes a little bit of time. And I always make it my own.
Mm-hmm.
But I still have it up. The wholesome dish. So the wholesome dish is I use their classic, the best classic shepherd's pie. Amanda Fink. She posted this back in February of 2019. She even has a video. Now hers, what I didn't do is I didn't throw the parsley on top, but that's what hers looks like. So, I mean, besides the parsley missing, which I did buy parsley, I just didn't throw it on top. It looks pretty darn close to it. Even the way that it comes down, mine is like right there. I'm gonna have to post her picture in mine, when I post it.
Yeah.
But she did state that traditional Irish shepherd's pie does call for brown lamb. The difference between shepherd's pie and cottage pie is the meat. And you did bring that up last year, that true shepherd's pie is lamb, but if you are doing ground beef, it is cottage pie. So, and she did call it shepherd's pie, and she did state either lamb or ground beef. So she did give the option there. But she went into so much detail showing everything and the way it should look. And she has a video, and then she matched it. I mean, she goes into a lot of detail. I didn't do any of that. But when you look at her square and mine, we were pretty close too. You got those golden browns and so I think that even though I made it my own, because that's what I do, I was kind of following her guidance here. And I love when there's additional notes where it says if you can't find frozen mixed peas and carrots, you could use 1/2 frozen peas and 1/2 cup frozen sliced carrots. And then nutritional facts, 1/4 of or 1/6 of the recipe, only 400 calories. That's it. So truly, and when you look at this last year, I think I bought a pre-made and I was like, I don't know, 1,500 calories or 1,300 calories in here. A sixth of that is only 400 calories. And really I use less sodium broth. So that also brings in some of the sodium and the calories in there. But I used the low sodium. But you're getting vitamin A, vitamin C, calcium, and iron. A little bit of sugar, only 2 grams of sugar in here. 13 grams of carbs, 19 grams of protein because of that ground beef. And then the fat comes from the butter. And if you use a little bit of olive oil to brown your beef. And 97 milligrams of cholesterol. And only 751 milligrams of sodium. But again, depending on what your ingredients are, you could minimize some of these things. So that is the information that I have on that. Now, when it comes to Guinness, one of the things that I did do was I said, I want to make a cocktail with Guinness. And so I looked up cocktails. I'm not going to make any of them because one of them I could have made because I have the ingredients. I just didn't have them here. So there is the purple Guinness, which is your stout, and then you add black currant cordial. The other one, which I could have done if I had everything, was dark rum, ice, cold espresso, coffee, vodka, creme de cacao, and the stout. And that is your martini. You also can make a mulled Guinness. That one's one that I'm going, It's pressed apple juice, a can of the stout, a cinnamon stick, and a star anise. You heat that, bring it to a simmer. You add a tablespoon of honey. You get it off the heat, remove the spices, and then you can make four drinks will come out of that, which is wonderful. So that's one, because the weather here has been a little on the colder side. I might do that. And the other one, the Black Velvet, not to be confused with the song Black Velvet my sister-in-law sings, but It is stout, and then you add champagne to it. And then, of course, which is another one that I considered, but I don't drink soda and I don't have any on hand, but a Guinness Black Russian is coffee liqueur, vodka, cola, stout, and a wedge of lime. So there are some certain cocktails that you could do with Guinness. So try out the Guinness cocktails and see what works for y'all. Let us know. We will give you a shout out. We will try it out based on your comments. If you say don't do it, we won't. But if you say do it, we will certainly do that. So, for Robert, hey Robert, thanks for being here.
Robertson Town, yep. One of the things I was wondering, because there's again, I don't remember if we ever did it with tasting with our different whiskeys and stuff. But I'm at the bottom of this, top of it. I salt and pepper the top, and I didn't salt and pepper the bottom of it.
Okay.
So the bottom of it gets bland as you go down. I should have stirred it and after salt and pepper and stirred it, but I didn't. Let me reach over here, grab the salt and pepper.
Robert, when was the last time you had shepherd's pie? And have you ever made it on your own? Love having you, Robert. Thanks for being here.
I will tell you, the last time I had shepherd's pie was last year. So, anyway, oh my God, and it's so good. I don't know why I don't do it more often.
I will post a recipe online, y'all. And as I'm making the shepherd's pie, somebody said to me last year, you need to make shepherd's pie. And I said, when it gets cold. And then I didn't see him anymore, so I didn't make it. So as I'm making shepherd's pie, I'm like, I feel like I owe somebody shepherd's pie. And I'm like, I don't like feeling guilty that I owe somebody something. And I was feeling a little guilty. Really? Cheesecake Factory. Thank you, Ruben. There is a Cheesecake Factory here.
I did not know that, Ruben.
Yeah, and it's fair. So it's not the best, but it's fair. But this is Cheesecake Factory, where you get the menu that has like 20 pages, 200 items on the menu. So yeah, that makes sense that they might have shepherd's pie. Is it on the happy hour menu? Because if it's not, I don't know that I want to wait to sit. There's always like a 40-minute wait to sit at Cheesecake Factory.
It's funny you say that, because so this weekend we were at a conference, Craig and I, in Nashville, Tennessee, at the Gaylord, Opryland Gaylord. And we go to the one restaurant that had sushi. We're like, hey, let's go and get sushi. We get there the first night, and they're like, it's a 25, 30-minute wait. Craig's like, okay, I'm going to run stuff back to my room. I said, I'll be at the bar. Come meet you when you're in. And literally within 15 minutes, we're in and seated. The second night we get there, and we have a third member with us. So Chaz Wilson joined us from Master Networks, and a couple other people from the conference joined us. And they're like, well, it's going to be about a 45-minute wait. And we're like looking at this place going, oh my God, the tables are empty in there. Why are they making us wait so long? But I mean, eventually we got in, and different other people, they just combined parties. When somebody got in, they just kept combining parties to get their party in.
That's funny.
It's funny, like, you go to places like Cheesecake Factory and they make you wait, and I always wonder what the wait thing is for. Like, you walk into some of those restaurants and the waiters are standing around waiting for business, right? And you got a line of people sitting at the front waiting to get in. Anyway.
So I was trying to do breakfast on Sundays, and there's two ladies that are waiting. They're like, oh, there's only one server. There's a little bit of a wait. And it's like, okay, well, let's, do XYZ, come back. And the ladies are still waiting, so we're waiting. We waited almost 15 minutes. Mind you, I had a voucher. That's why we're waiting, because we had a voucher. Otherwise, I wouldn't have waited. And so at last, I'm looking, and I said, you know what? The good thing is, by the time we get seated, we're going to be the first order in, if not the second. So we figured these ladies would have the first order, we'd have the second order. Sure enough, our food came out fairly quickly. I mean, it literally went on the pass to us. But this guy was so slow. Oh my goodness, forgot this, forgot that. Had to be reminded multiple times. Hey, this, hey, that. Hey, the, it was just so funny. it was quite interesting that I was a little disappointed with the service. The food was good. It wasn't what I thought I was going to get, but the flavors were there because it was supposed to be huevos rancheros. It looked, but the flavors were delicious. And I was like kind of disappointed in that, but it was still good. But the service, I'm like, yeah, no, there was so much lacking there. But it was just where really there's hardly anybody here. How do you say that you have to wait 15 minutes just to get seated? Because the server was very frazzled. That's the best word I can use. But
there was a time, gosh, it's got to be 25 years ago. We did this. We were on a Saturday morning here in Dallas. We were going to get breakfast. There's 4 of us guys. And we walked up to, I think it was like Denny's. Yeah, there's going to be a 40-minute wait. Okay, we'll be outside. Right. And we went out and we're like, well, we got to get into someplace quicker than this. So we get in the car. All right. We drive to someplace else. There's a wait. We drive to someplace else. There's a wait. We drive to someplace else. So eventually within an hour, we're back to the Denny's. And we walk back to the Denny's. And one friend walks in and goes, man, we've been outside waiting for a long time. All right. What's up? How come? And they're like, we came out and called you and we couldn't find you. What the heck? Come on, let's get you in real quick. Like we drove I guarantee you, we were within 30 minutes of that place coming before we came back to it. And we just walked in and said, oh man, we were waiting out the whole time. Well, are you guys going to call us? And they let us right in.
That's funny. I had that issue at, oh my goodness, it's a chain restaurant. I was in Texas and I was on a business trip. So I was by myself. They said it would be about a half hour. And I was like, that's fine. Yeah, thanks. That's what it was. And I waited, and it was like people that were after me were being seated. And I had to go and complain. They're like, we called you. I said, I've been here the entire time. Nobody else's name is Gladys. I guarantee you that unless it's little old granny, 80 years old. I said, but I've been waiting for almost an hour. I've seen other people that came after me that have been called in that have party of 2, 4, whatever. I'm by myself. How have you not called me? And I was like, well, I said, out here, you're going to sit me down because I'm not going to go somewhere else. I was so mad. And they're like, but there's I said, no, there is not a wait. You will sit me down at the next table because it has been an hour. No, unacceptable.
That is the part I like about eating alone or eating with one other person. Is half the time I'll see if the place has a bar. I'll just walk in and sit at their bar.
Well, the thing is that I did it forever. I didn't care where I sat, but I was like, oh my goodness, that was just bad. I don't even know. I think even the bar was full. There had to have been something because I'm pretty self-sufficient. Yeah. But I will tell you, I will eat dinner by myself. I'll go to the movies by myself. I have no issue with that. I traveled so much by myself that if I ate by myself all the time, no problem. But I don't like going to bars by myself. I really don't. I don't
mind it because to me, it's like, when I go to the bar, I'm going to have, there's 2 things I want. I want something to eat and I want something to drink. And I don't care. I'm not, huh?
You're a guy. When you have a female, I remember one time I was walking by the bar and I got hit on, but I didn't just get hit on as a female. And I'm like, I wasn't wearing anything, crazy. I wasn't in, stilettos and a mini skirt. And yet I was asked how much. And I'm like, dude, I'm freaking married. The husband's over there.
Wait. Like, why is it that women always talk to me at bars? I've never tried to hit on them or pick them up. But I guess that's why they talk to me, because I'm not one guy sitting at the bar just having a conversation with whoever's next to me. And I don't care. I guess because I've got no expectations. I'm not trying to impress them. I can care less if they're impressed. I'm there to eat, get a drink, and leave. And many times I go to a bar because I want to sit at the bar by myself, eat, drink, go home. So, correct.
Yeah, I had a friend that said, I sit in the corner. I want to be left alone. And yes, people have one of those faces.
You keep going silent. You're blinking in and out. Where's your microphone?
Right here.
Okay.
Yeah. Mueller.
Okay. All right. There we are.
Um, so
And now she's going. You went silent again. What the heck?
what's going on? Am I having issues?
Well, like right there, you're silent.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Hmm.
What the heck? That's weird. I've had enough weird things happen for one day.
You know?
Check in your settings to make sure you're using the right microphone, first of all.
Well, it is.
You're silent still. You're going it. No, nothing.
You're today.
Huh? What is it?
Am I here? Am I here? Can you hear me?
There you are.
I think it shows. Okay. This is weird. Me and technical issues all the time. I have a love-hate relationship with technology. My IT guy, I don't know how tired he is of me texting him all the time because why is my computer doing this? Why is my computer doing that? Can you log in and check this out? It's a constant. I'm a very solid customer. He's not going to get rid of me that easily.
Yeah. So anyway, at this weekend, right next to the conference they had a Jack Daniel's bar.
Oh.
I
have a picture with Jack Daniel.
Yeah. You've been to the Gaylord in Nashville, haven't you? Yeah. So the conference room that we were in was literally right next door to the Jack Daniel's, which they've moved the Jack Daniel's to another location because they're rebuilding a place where Jack Daniel's used to be. And the sports bar that's next to it is where the new Jack Daniel's will be once the new bar's done. Anyway, so Craig and I go there on the first night. We're like, we're going to go get some Angel's Envy. Craig, it's like, I got tonight. He got an Angel's Envy rye at a bar at a resort. What do you think he paid? What do you think he paid for that double?
38. Oh, double 70. It was 70.
$70. Whereas mine was just a regular Angel's Envy, not a rye, and mine was like 40. Right? So I mean, the rest of the weekend, anytime I went to the bar, I was like, I'll take Buffalo Trace. Like when you have Angel's Envy out, it's going to be expensive. But when you have it at a hotel, it's going to be more expensive. When you have it at a resort, it's going to be more expensive.
Exactly. I will tell you, I did have an old fashioned before a show on Saturday. And it was a the rooftop location. But of course I had a coupon.
Yes, Robert, that's exactly what it was. Craig and I went cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
And so I wanted the Angel's Envy rye old fashioned, which was about $11 or $12 more than the regular one. I was like, but that's what I want. And I got a voucher, so therefore I'm only going to pay half price on this. And it was a better old fashioned, like, here, taste, let me taste. And it was absolutely delicious. And it's like, yeah, yours is better. And I'm like, yeah, because it's just Envy rye.
Yeah, Angel's Envy rye, it makes the best old fashions. But depending on where you get it, it could be very expensive. Angels, I mean, come on. My bottle of rye up there is $100 bottle of rye. So I'm pretty sure that's not a cheap, it's not a cheap date to go get a shot. That's why I drink when I'm out. I drink Buffalo Trace when I'm out. I do love Buffalo Trace.
Right.
But it is usually at most bars, happy hour, it's a $7 to $10 shot.
Yeah, depending on where you're at. I'll usually do either Four Roses or Bullet Rye.
Yeah.
And I do
Four Roses and Bullets in that 10 to 15 range, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I can handle. It's fine. But Angel's Envy, I know I'm going to be paying more. This time I had a voucher, so I knew that I could not have to pay as much. That's why I went with it.
You know, there's one I have to have on the podcast sometime.
Mhm.
I've had it before. It's Heaven's Door.
Okay.
It's Bob Dylan's
Okay.
whiskey bourbon company. And Heaven's Door, I had it a couple of years back. I don't have any on my shelf anymore, but yeah, that's one. You know, it's funny, usually when I go to towns like Nashville, I want to try out a couple of beers or something from town. All right. I didn't because I was more into what whiskeys I was going to get, being in Tennessee. And I still drank Kentucky bourbons and not Tennessee whiskeys. So, yeah.
Mhm. Well, the last time I was there, I went into the liquor store because it's a controlled state, which means you need to go to the liquor store to get liquor. You can't get it at the supermarket. And so I asked for, I'm looking, all I see is a bunch of Jack Daniels and all these other things. And I said, I'm looking for local Tennessee whiskey. And they said, oh, it's down this aisle. And I'm like, how did I miss it? I walked down that aisle, I looked at everything, all of the shelves, and I went over and all they had was Jack Daniels. And I came back and I said, okay, I did not fly from the West Coast to Tennessee to get Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
I can get that shit at home. I said, so I want local Tennessee whiskey. Where do you keep it? They had one shelf. It was a tall shelf, but it wasn't very wide. It was probably only 3 feet wide. And that's all they had that was local. And they were so proud of it that I'm going, this is more expensive than some of my scotch. And I'm going, okay. So now I'm like trying to figure out to get something that's at a Tennessee whiskey is not my favorite. So I'm going to want to get a little bit higher end, but I also don't want to spend $100 on a Tennessee whiskey because if I'm going to spend that kind of money, it's going to be on a bourbon or on a scotch. So I found something and it was okay. It wasn't the best, but it was still okay. But it was like, they were so proud of Jack Daniels. And I'm like, I did not come all this way for Jack Daniels. I can get that at home.
Yeah. No, there's a ton of different things in the Jack brand. Gentleman Jack, I like. I like Gentleman Jack more than I like regular Jack. But when I'm in Tennessee, you know what? I didn't think about it while I was there. I should have reached out to my connection to see if he was still in town, and I should have got me some backwoods moonshine.
I was gonna say, did you go to the moonshine place? Because I wanted to go there for you when I was there, but I didn't have a vehicle. I was Ubering it, and it was a ways out. That was gonna be like round trip, like $150, and I'm going, yeah, it's not worth $150 in Uber to go get some moonshine. So.
No. Mine was not going to the places that make moonshine. Mine was getting hold of my bootlegger who gets it from the backwoods guys.
Got it.
And I know that the bootlegger I get it from is usually he lives in that area. And I didn't think to reach out to him while I was there because I'm there with my truck. I could have transported it back, no problem. Duh.
Those reminders. Hello. Good stuff. But Guinness is, you know what? You're probably glad because you normally don't drink Guinness anyway, unless you're drinking it with shepherd's pie. So I'm sure you were fine.
Yeah. Well, I'm enjoying this blood orange. It's a blood orange goose fruit sour that this Armor Brewery has.
You know what? Put that up. I think I can get that here. I'm gonna have to look for it. Put it up on the.
This is the company here. Where is it? Where is it? Armor Brewery. And they're here in Texas. They're local. They're a local.
All right, blood orange.
And it's this is the other one that we have. This was their dark stout that we got that I was going to try with it tonight. And it is hold on. A smoked. So
Put it on.
Smoke. Here.
Yeah, I saw that. I did it where the title is of the name of the what they're having because I took a picture of that.
Okay.
Flip it around so I can see the name. Yeah, Armor Brewery. That's what I want.
They're here in the North Dallas area. So
I did try an utter chaos yesterday. I met up with some friends. I was on my way to take a friend to the airport, so I couldn't stay and I couldn't have a beer, but I still wanted to hang out with them. And then they had at the front, they had utter chaos, and I was like, utter chaos. And then I realized that it is a cow that is out in space, and I saw the udders, and I said, "Oh, utter chaos." So I had to taste it. It was a stout. It was very yummy. I will have to go back and have a pint of it because that is 8.8%. So I'm like, this is one that's going to take an hour to drink. It's one of those that you nurse because it's stout. And it was very chocolatey, a lot of flavor in there. But I love the name Utter Chaos.
wow.
If I didn't have Guinness, I would have probably have gone and said, "Can I have one of these to go? Don't fill up my growlers as part of it." Because that one, you can't fill up a growler and then not drink it because it'll go flat on you. But it was absolutely delicious. So Rams here in Wilsonville, I'll have to give that one to you. Utter Chaos is pretty good. And all I had was like an ounce, I think it's 2 ounces of a taster.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm going to switch something real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Talk
What to you? What do you want to hear?
to me. Yeah, I'm trying to do an adjustment. You're coming through. Your microphone is coming through garbly to me sometimes, and I don't know what it is. Whether it's a connection on my end or your end. So
no, I think it's me, and I have a feeling that it is my laptop microphone and not my regular microphone because this is a toner, and toner is not up there.
okay, click the on the bottom of the in the thing is settings. It's mute, stop cam. Settings, click the settings button.
It's not in there.
And then click audio, and it'll tell you what microphone you're using and what speaker you're using.
Yeah, and it's not my toner. I know that.
Click the arrow next to the microphone and see if that option's there.
It's not. I promise you it's not. I already looked. When I first went, I tried it. I know. And my IT guy had already looked at it. I'm going to message him and said, what you did not work. It's not working. So he's going to get a message from me.
The other thing you can do is take the USB cord, unplug it from your computer, and plug it back in.
I did.
Okay.
I know all the things that I do all the time, and it usually works. It didn't work this time.
Yeah. The other thing is I keep earbuds because you can always switch to earbuds.
I can't get my laptop to connect to my earbud.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
You know what? It's probably user error because me and technology, it's a love-hate relationship.
I know.
But
our podcast never sounds right. It always sounds off. So
I know we got to do something. One of these days I'm gonna have to get you and my IT guy together and see if we can make it not have issues. But it's me, and my technology doesn't like me very much.
Yeah.
So
I do like, if I'm out with the laptop, I use my ear pods. I don't even take a microphone with me anymore. I have the connections to make a microphone work. I just don't do it with the laptop. And I almost always with the laptop use the camera on the laptop. No, I don't carry a camera with me anymore. So it's not as clear, not as crisp as this. That my video is crisp. I hope my sound is crisp, but I don't know.
Yeah, this laptop does not have very good video. My previous laptop did. This one does not.
But that's one of the reasons why I do everything like this from the desktop. I have a desktop setup that's set up to run a studio, not a.
Yeah, I don't have a desktop. I have my laptop.
We're gonna have to get you a desktop.
Another expense between you and my, you know how much I've spent on technology over the last 2 years?
Trust me, not as much as me. I just went online and bought another mouse.
We won't get into that because you might.
This is my second set of AirPods this year. I have 3 sets of AirPods that I bought in the past year. I gave 1 set to Gwen because I had 2 sets. And then I was down to one set. I lost that set, so I bought the set that I have now. And when I found the other set, I gave them that other set to my daughter. So in the past year, I bought 3 sets of ear pods. All right.
One of my client gave me her ear pods. One of them would only hold a charge for about an hour, the other one for 2. And then they disappeared. And I was like, oh my goodness. And so I ended up buying a new set. Well, 2 weeks ago, I went into my drawer and there they were. And I was like,
yeah.
So now they're my backup just in case. But I have the new set is amazing. They have the noise canceling. I wore them when I went to California and they just work very well.
Now I have a Bose audio system that has a plug that I could plug in a set of earphones, remember the old Apple earphones that went with an iPhone? You could plug them into the Bose system and it'll run the microphone off of that and everything, and most perfect sound in the world from Bose. That Bose bypasses the computer sound system, and I work off the Bose sound system.
Oh,
yeah,
that is not gotten.
That Bose system, I bet you it's probably 8 years old now. But I got it because of the fact the first place I ever seen was Alan Skid when I was in West Virginia, and I was at his house and had to do a podcast. He had this, and I'm like, oh my God, I love this. He says, Bose, it's like $300 for it, but it is the most expensive set of speakers I've ever gotten, and they're the longest lasting set of speakers I've ever had.
Might be worth it. We do have a Bose here, so I might wait till Black Friday or Cyber Monday and buy it then.
Yeah. Well,
see, so y'all are learning more than just how to make shepherd's pie and how to pair it with Guinness. You're learning about technology. You're learning about how to do other things. So we appreciate y'all.
Yeah. So,
and learning, you can go to Cheesecake Factory and get a fair tasting shepherd's pie.
With only a 45-minute wait.
Right. Now we need to know from Ruben, is it shepherd's pie or cottage pie? Is it beef or lamb?
Or lamb, yeah.
That'll let us know.
Yep. So let's bring up a couple things here. First of all, every time we're here, guys, we talk to you about our Insiders Club. LikeTheWayYouDrink.com, must be 21 to join. Our Insiders Club is designed for you to have private tastings with us like this, all right, as well as group events when we schedule them out in different areas. Without going into too much detail, guys, here's what it is we're trying to build a list of people who we can go do things with on a more in-depth basis, right? And it's not right now, it's free to join, and you'll get invitations to stuff we do. That's what we got going on. The show is brought to you every week, ladies and gentlemen, by Gladys and I's businesses, pay the bills around here. So every week you get a commercial from us. And I'm trying to think, wait a minute, I was trying to think if we still have them in here. I do.
Commercials, I'd love it if you do.
Hold on a second here. Yeah, I think this is yours. Hold on.
Welcome to Insurance by Design, the expert in crafting tailored employee benefits packages, working with both your English and Spanish-speaking staff. Led by the acclaimed Gladys Boutwell, we're licensed to serve you in Oregon and Washington. Gladys brings a wealth of expertise with an MBA in international business and leadership, and is a certified insurance counselor. Honored for her contributions to Latino equity in Oregon, Gladys is also a best-selling author. Her book, Health Insurance Secrets Revealed, is revolutionizing how we understand insurance. With bilingual prowess, Gladys enhances communication, making insurance smoother and easier for all your employees.
All right. See, we got one. Let's try the other one.
Is your website attracting the traffic and engagement it deserves? At SimpleEasyWebsites.com, we specialize in transforming ordinary websites into extraordinary experiences. Our experts know what it takes to make your online presence stand out and succeed. Gain valuable insights and tailored strategies with our professional website review. Don't let your website be just another page in the digital world. Visit SimpleEasyWebsites.com now and book your consultation today.
Anything you want to add to that, Gladys?
EnrollNowOregon.com. Get on my calendar.
There you go. Gladys's website again is insurancedesignpros.com. All right, you get on there as well. Click a button in there and add or view her calendar, as well as get you have your white sheet on there too, white paper, don't you?
Mm-hmm. on the upper left-hand corner on 101 employee benefits for all budgets.
Cool. So, and there's mine, gentlemen. Go visit if you want anything with websites. And lastly, if you want to be on my podcast, I have another podcast, the Tim Gillette Show, where I interview today's and tomorrow's real influencers. You can go here to apply. timgillette.com/podcast or timgillette.com/podcast interview, I think, is the application. But that's all my other podcasts. Other than that,
Here,
huh?
we appreciate you all being here with us today.
Yeah, it's been a fun day. So it was rough getting here, but I made it.
Yay. I almost
Anyway.
did just a short clip of Facebook Live, and then Tim says, okay, I'll be able to do this. I'm like, yeah.
I finally got a hookup. Finally got a hookup. Okay, so I just got an email. Yeah. Cool. Finally got a hookup about probably about 30 minutes ago. Or no, now it's almost an hour ago now. I finally got it working. I said, Gladys, we can do it in about 15, 20 minutes. She goes, okay, great. So we did. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we will be back next week with another great episode. In the meantime, always, guys, keep your glasses full. Cheers.